Hey, ciao, ciao, ciao. How you doing, Svima? Charles here, drinking a Dos Equis, sitting back in the woods on my Kawasaki. That's all I'm getting done, man. But I am getting some exercise. Yesterday I ran. It was about 2 miles I rode, or I ran, and then I rode my bicycle about 3 miles. So about 5 miles, man. I'm trying to lose some of this stomach before I go to the beaches in Nantucket. In 9 days, I'm going to Nantucket. So, Dos Equis, it doesn't help me, but biga, it tastes good anyway. Anyway, I'm going to do some quick questions here because I got a bunch of questions, and I haven't done a video for questions for a long time. So quickly, as I always say, quickly, let's get to them. First one is from a gentleman in Subotica. He says, Charles, I'm a follower of yours from Subotica here. I have some questions for you. What is one thing you really miss about Serbia when you're in the United States of America? You know, public transportation. That is a big thing. When I flew from the airport, I had to wait on my parents to come and get me. I had to take a train 2 hours to a place called Springfield, Illinois, the capital of Illinois. And the people who ride public transportation here are scumbags. That's typically it. You can't get around on public transportation. I hate that, and I think it needs to change. The other thing I miss about Serbia, man, I miss the togetherness of the people because I have so many friends there in Serbia. I was constantly seeing somebody else every single day. I enjoy my time here in the USA. I really do, but we're very isolated out here. And in Serbia, I'm in Novi Sad is excellent. It never sleeps, and every day I've got to see a different friend of mine. So I miss that about Serbia a lot. What else? I miss the traffica, having the traffica available all the time when I need it. Because I'm from a little ranch community here. There's nothing like that. So that's probably what I miss the most so far. The food, I'm trying to cut back on my mom's food. She's a good cook, so I don't miss the food just yet. Question 2. What's the biggest differences between the USA and Serbia? Positives and negatives. Biggest difference between the USA and Serbia, positives and negatives. Well, back to what I stated earlier. Biggest negative about the United States is public transportation. You go to the bus station, you go to the train station. It's a very limited schedule from St. Louis where I flew into, and I had to get to this little ranch community. The train schedule, there's 3 a day that goes somewhere near the vicinity I needed to go. 3 buses a day. And the people that take the bus, there's convicts on Greyhound bus. There's one bus company, Greyhound, and one train company, Amtrak, throughout the whole United States. We don't have competition, and the people that take it are scumbags. The Greyhound bus company has a deal with prisons. People that just get released from prisons are taking Greyhound with a big yellow packet and a t-shirt and sweatpants. You can tell them by a mile. They're the people that are riding the bus with you. And they treat you like shit because normal people don't take public transportation. It's a problem. Our whole society is based on automobile ownership. People don't take public transportation. We don't have funding for fast trains and things like that. It's bullshit. That's a negative. A positive about the United States of America, a difference. People here are very, very friendly. I'm from the Midwest, the middle of the United States of America, the middle of the state of Illinois, East Central. I'm right over by the Indiana line. And I was just telling my mom today, I went with my mother to buy some stuff. I'm going to paint her shed for her for Mother's Day because I didn't get her anything. I told her I'd do work for her when I came home. We get out at this place called Menards. It's a big superstore like Home Depot. What's that? Home Center in Serbia, in Novi Sad. I get out of the car, and like a lady says, hey, how are you today? And I go inside the store. Some old man was walking out, just carries on a conversation with me. I go to the car to put paint away in the car, and this old lady walks by. She said, oh, that looks like a big job. What are you doing with all that paint? I mean, just very, very friendly people here in the United States of America. Another difference is obese people. And I don't mean to make fun of this, but the USA has a problem with obesity. Before I left Europe, I could count on one hand how many chubby people fatter than me I saw. I'm talking normal age people. 50 and under, we'll say. 40 and under, because I'm young, But over there, rare. Here, man. Went into Walmart, went into Menards. All these people on those little carts. People I know that I went to school with, just very heavy people. And that's a big difference, man. It's sad for this country. What else? What was the question? What's the biggest difference? difference between the USA positives and negatives. That's enough for now, because I got to answer some other questions here, boss. Do you like Hungarians? Question 3. Do you like Hungarians? You never mention them in your videos. I know all about Subotica. I was in Subotica a couple times. Boris Malagurski's from Subotica. It's right there on the border of Hungary. And do I like Hungarians? I love Hungarians. I know one of my best friends. I stayed at his house numerous times. I know his family's name's Attila. Great guy. Good people. There's a part of Zrenjanin where I used to live. I lived there for a year. It's called Muzlia. I know so many Hungarians that are there. Awesome, awesome people. Wonderful people. Friendly, kind, intelligent people. You know, I have nothing but good things to say about Hungarians. I have nothing but good things to say about everybody. I don't hate everybody, and that's what frustrates me. I have no problems with Albanians, no problems with Bosniaks, no problem with Croats. I don't care. I have no problem with Iraqi people or Afghan people. I've got a problem with assholes, yes, but I have no problem with Hungarian people. I know they're good people. During the World War II, you know, there was issues with the Hungarians. I've mentioned before, the Hungarians sided with the Nazis, unfortunately. So I believe I mentioned that before. And I'm not very politically correct sometimes. I know I showed a monument one time and I said, this is from what the Hungarians did to the Serbians, and that was wrong. I shouldn't have stated it that way, but that was just blah. I never think about my videos. I just turn on the camera and I start talking. So I know that wasn't right. That wasn't the best way I could have put that. But the reason I don't really mention Hungarians, because I live in Serbia, and in Vojvodina, the northern part of Serbia, where you are, I consider you guys Serbian, because you live in Serbia. You were born in Serbia. You have Hungarian roots, yes, but I consider you Serbian, because you're Serbian passport holders. You live in the same country that I live in, so I consider you a Serbian there, pal. Anyway, thank you for the support, brother, and I'm going to see you in Subotica. We're going to have an office there very soon, so I'll be up there a lot. So good luck to you. I wish you the best. Next question I've got on Gmail here. Let me find it. You know, before I get to this guy, one lady, if you follow my Facebook page, you saw this message a long time ago. There was a lady that wrote me. I posted on my Facebook page because I could not believe it. There's like a deer over here and a frog and a skunk. Scaring me. But if you watch my videos, you probably saw a question that I had posted on there, and it was about, like, not even shitting you. It was a huge question with probably, or a huge page of questions, all about smoking. She's an American. She doesn't like smoking, and she wants to visit Serbia, and every question was, why do they allow smoking in Serbia? Is there any place that they don't allow smoking? I hate smoking. Is there any campaign against smoking? Okay, so it was all smoking-related questions. She asked me to do a video on it. All I can say, honey, Serbia is a society for smokers, honestly. It's not a place for non-smokers. It hasn't reached the level of some of the other countries where they have strict anti-smoking campaigns and to get it out of the restaurants and bars like they do in the West and other places. It's not that way. So if you are that concerned about smoking, you can go to the really, really fancy places in Serbia, and it's just like in the West. You've got no smoking places. But typically, this society is about smoking. You go to the bus station, you sit on a bench, people next to you can be smoking. You walk down the sidewalk, people are going to be smoking. You go into the typical little cafe for coffee, people are going to smoke. People don't think that much about it. Some people do, but typically the rest of the population, they don't know if you're a non-smoker, and most of them don't care. They're just going to light up and smoke next to you. It's not like this country, but that's what makes it special. No country's going to be exactly the same. So I don't know why that is that huge of a concern of yours, but that's your passion. I've got different passions, so I can't really criticize you, or no one else can, because we all have things that bother us. We're all different people, but if you are that extremely concerned with smoking in public places and stuff, I wouldn't go, because there's a lot of smoke, okay? But they are starting a campaign. I read it maybe about 6 months ago in the paper. It was going to try to start something where they stop smoking in pubs, bars, kafanas, and things like that. I don't know how well that'll go, because Serbians like to smoke. There was something I posted about. I'll put the link in the website here, or in this description. But it said, for a while, Serbia was a #1 smoking country per capita of any country. It surpassed Turkey and Russia and, what was it, Ukraine. They smoke a lot here in Serbia because it's cheap. You can get a pack of cigarettes for 150 dinara, $1.50, $2, 250 dinara. So from $1.50 to 250 or $2.50, you can get a pack of cigarettes. It's cheap. Cheap for Western standards, I'm saying. It's not cheap for Serbians. Okay? But that's all I have to say about smoking. Two more questions here. There's a guy from Florida. Hi, Charles from sunny Florida. I'm a big fan of your channel. Thank you, brother. His name is Jay. I aim to head out to Novi Sad from Budapest this summer, so I'll make sure to keep the place awesome for you during your absence. Well, I wish you the best. Some dumb questions. Number one, does Serbia make its visitors register with the local police? Do they enforce that law much? Not that I mind, but I'd rather minimize my interaction with the governments. I know Croatia had or has a similar policy in place. Must be the way things are in that part of the world. Yes, they do make you register. I made a video about that before, about the little white card. It's called a foreign registration card, a foreign identification card, something similar to that. You're supposed to do that within 24 hours of arriving into whatever city you go to. And they even say, if you go to Novi Sad, is the first city, in 24 hours you have to go to the police and get that with the landlord. You have to bring them with you to get that card. And then if you go to a different city, you're supposed to do the same thing, they say. But that's the same situation. People have even said, all of former Yugoslavia, a lot of these older socialist-type countries do that. I've heard people say in Belarus, people say even in Slovenia and Croatia they still do. Bosnia they do. Macedonia and Montenegro, I'm damn sure they do. I don't know about Bulgaria and them, but I think in this region in general, it's a common thing. And I know there's a couple different viewpoints on it. Some people said the government likes to keep track of you. Most of the time, if you ask the police about it, they say it's for your protection. In case something happens, they know where to find you. Most people don't do it, just so you know. They don't ask for it. I fly in and out of Belgrade. I go across the borders on the buses, and 9 times out of 10, nobody ever asked for it. Last time I was asked for it was on a shuttle to Bosnia. The driver took my passport. He said, "Where's your white card?" And I said, "I left it at home." And he said, "Okay, you have to bring it next time." So I said, "Okay, I will." No problems. But they can fine you. You're supposed to keep it with you at all time because Serbian police can stop you. What else did you ask me? A good way to get out of it is your first night in Serbia, stay in a hostel or a hotel. They have to automatically register you with it. Sometimes they're going to ask you to keep the passport overnight or for a little bit anyway because they got to keep it. They got to send it into the police. They can do it electronically, and then they can give you a white card and then just keep that with you and take that with you if you want to have one with you. That's what I tell people to do. Do they enforce the law much? I just answered the question. Next one. I've lived in Mexico, and many expats I know do border runs every 6 months. I lived in Mexico, too, for a year and a half, sir. Does Serbia care much if people do border runs every 90 days? The reason I ask is because if I fall in love with the country as you have, I'd like to try before I buy, meaning I'd like to live there for a while without going through the process of getting residency at first. I'd imagine if I use my EU passport, it might go down a bit easier for me. There's so many people there, my friend, that do border runs. For those of you who are watching, you don't know what a border run is. What a border run is, typically Western people in Europe, we can spend 90 days out of 180 days in Serbia. So we can stay 90, then we're supposed to leave for 90 days before we can come back into Serbia. So many of the foreigners I know in Serbia, if they want to stay 100 days or 6 months, that's what they do. They just go to the border in Bosnia, Croatia, Hungary, Romania. You just cross. They're going to exit stamp you. You're going to go to Timișoara and if you're going to Romania, have a coffee, come back the next day or even a couple hours. They stamp you again, and they don't check it that much in Serbia. So I've known some people. There's one particular, I'm not going to say names here, but somebody that I know personally that's done that for about 5 years, and she said she's never had a problem. She said she'll park her car. I'm not even going to say the name of the border, but she said she'll drive. They know her because she's there every 90 days. She said she'll park her car by the Serbian side. She'll get out, walk. She takes her passport, talks to the Serbian guys. They stamp it. She walks through to I'm not going to say which side. She talks to them. She turns right around, gets her new stamp, and goes back. She says she's done it for a long time. So they haven't checked. But you always want to be careful because maybe one day you like it. You leave all your things in your apartment. You leave thinking, hey, they're not going to care. And you come back in. They do care. They don't allow you in. So be careful, my friend. It's easy to get an extra stay. You pay a little bit extra money. You find a girlfriend. You can do that. You can get an extended stay. Open some little business in your name. Marry somebody. And you can stay in Serbia for the rest of your life. Because we all love that dear country. Anyway, my friends, I got to go. Long video. Do viđenja svima. Have fun in Serbia, and I'm going to miss you, Serbians. I'm not coming back till September 30th, so I'll see you soon. Love you. Volim vas svima.